They say that before talking about something important, you should know your audience. You should know about the people who are listening to you. Well, for that, I'm going to make a broad assumption. I'm going to assume that many of you are searching for a career path in your life. I'm assuming that many of you are in 11th or 12th standard, or you know someone who is in 11th or 12th standard and is searching for the best career path for you personally. Now, today I am over here going to make a case for law. Case for law. Get it? Well, the pun was absolutely intended. In any case, before I say something about career in law, I would allow an eminent historical personality to say a few words about career in law. All right? So I'm going to talk about Thomas Jefferson. Well, many of you who are students of history know about Thomas Jefferson, but for many of those people who do not know about Thomas Jefferson, well, Thomas Jefferson was one of the founding fathers of United States of America. Well, United States of America was one of the few countries, one of the first countries to experiment with rule of law. There was UK, of course, United Kingdom, that experimented with rule of law. But United States was also one of the few countries that experimented with rule of law. Now, what did Thomas Jefferson say about lawyers? What did he say about career in law? Well, let's take a look at his quote. The study of law is useful in a variety of points of view. It qualifies a man to be useful to himself, to his neighbors, and to the public. He is actually making a case that a lawyer is useful for everyone. He's useful to everyone. He's useful to himself. He's useful to people around himself. And he's also useful to the society in general. Now, why is that? Well, rule of law is the answer behind this question that I posed just before you. Well, what is rule of law? Well, before rule of law, there were these monarchies. King used to rule the people through his arbitrary decrees. But we got away from that society and we got into rule of law. In societies where there is rule of law, like India, like USA, and like many modern countries in the world, where there is rule of law, well, law is the supreme ruler. Law is ruling us all. In civilized societies, it is the law of the land that is actually framing our conduct in society. It is actually ruling each and every aspect of our lives. Well, if you want to live well in a society that is governed by rule of law, you need to know the law, right? So, for example, you are caught in something illegal. Let's suppose someone you know who is caught in something illegal. To help that person, you need to have some knowledge of law. Right? Law governs each and every aspect of our lives, from breaking a traffic signal to committing an illegal act. Right? Law governs everything. So that is why knowledge of law, knowledge of legal system in your country is important. And that's what Thomas Jefferson was actually pointing out. Make sense? Now, Thomas Jefferson's quote we have covered, and we have seen his views on a career in law. Now let's take a look at famous lawyers in history. Who else has chosen law as a career option? Well, Mahatma Gandhi was there, Barack Obama, Nelson Mandela, a very famous personality, B.R. Ambedkar, Fidel Castro. Now, are you seeing a common theme among these personalities? Well, all these personalities were global leaders. So one thing is for sure, that it helps you. Law actually helps you to become a leader. If you're a leader and you're living in a society that is governed by rule of law, to be a leader in a society that is governed by rule of law, well, you need to have some awareness about law. And hence, these personalities became successful because these were lawyers. They knew about law. Do you know many of our constitution makers, the people who made our constitution, were lawyers? And why is that so? Well, constitution, as they say, is the fundamental law of the land. Constitution is the fundamental law in India. And to frame that fundamental law, you need experts in legal fields. Right? Makes sense? So most of the politicians, most of the leaders are experts in law as well. So if you have these lofty aspirations to become a leader in future, well, law is the right path for you to tread on. Now, it is also said that law is not just a career option. but a life-changing experience for many. It's not just a career option. Of course, it's not just a career option, though it is a viable career option, and you should choose law for being successful in any field you want. But it's also a life-changing experience. Why is it a life-changing experience? Because the thing is, many of us in India are living in ignorance. We are living in India, but we do not know about the rules and regulations that govern our lives. But when you get to know about those rules and regulations, well, it's an enlightening experience. It's an enriching experience. You get to know what is happening in our courts. You get to know what is happening all around you. Law governs everything around you. Make sense? Right? So, okay. Now we have talked about lofty aspirations. We have talked about if you want to become a global leader or even a domestic local leader, then also law is a viable career option for you. But what if you're not looking to be a global leader? You're not looking to be you don't want to be a leader in the conventional sense of the term, right? You don't want to be a leader. You just want to make a good career. Now, career in law offers a lot of advantages. Let's come to the practical aspect of it. We have discussed all the lofty aspirations that some of you might have, that some of you are pretty idealistic. They want to change the world. They want to be global leaders, right? Law is there for you. But law is there for other people who don't have these lofty aspirations, who have certain practical concerns with respect to their career. Well, law is a viable option for you guys as well. Well, law offers you financial benefits. There are pretty rich lawyers in our society. So it offers you money, and a good amount of money. Then it offers you an opportunity to serve the society. Because like Thomas Jefferson said, if you are aware about legal system, if you're aware about law, if you're a lawyer, you can help yourself, your neighbors, everyone around you, and your nation. Right? So you can serve the society through having acute knowledge of law. Right? So serving the society is one aspect if you are interested in that. But some of the people are just interested in financial benefits. Well, law is there for you as well. Then, high status in society. We have seen those cars where there are stickers written lawyer on those stickers, right? We have seen cars laden with stickers of lawyers, right? People are proud of being lawyers. Because law offers you high status. If you're successful in the legal career, well, it offers you a very high status. So it is rewarding if you're interested in the status aspect of your career. Then societal respect and many more other things. Many more other things. Make sense? Right? But let me talk a bit more about law. Generally, there is a perception that law is all about litigation. Law is all about courtroom drama. They say that if you study law, you'll either become a lawyer who is going to practice in a court of law, high court, supreme court, district court, or you'll become a judge. These are the only two options available to you. That's what they say. That's what the general perception is. But let me break this general perception. Law is not just about litigation and judiciary. When you study law, when you complete your LLB, courtroom is not the only area where you can go. Well, many of you have seen this film, right? And this film was made for comedic purposes. Well, the name of the film is Jolly LLB. Here's a lawyer, here's a judge. Now, many people have seen this film and they have assumed that studying law would land them closer to these guys. Well, that's not the case. If you're not interested in the courtroom, if you're not interested in litigation, if you don't want to be a judge or a lawyer who practices in court, well, corporate doors are also open for you. You can have a corporate career, just like these guys. Suits, right? You can have a corporate career. You can have a flashy corporate bling bling career by studying law. Law is not just about courtroom drama. Law is not just about a career in high courts, supreme courts, district courts. Law is also about law firms. Law is also about legal consultants. Law is also about, well, a career in law is also about corporate jobs, high-paying corporate jobs, right? Make sense? So, to know what sort of career options open for you when you go for law, when you go for studying law, what sort of career options are open for you? You need to be aware of types of law. Well, you can specialize in any of these types and you can land wherever you want. So let me give you an example. There is this thing called criminal law. If you're an expert in this field, well, you'll definitely go to a courtroom. You'll definitely either become a judge or you'll become a lawyer. Then there is environmental law. You can land up in NGOs who are fighting for environmental protection. You can end up in societies. You can end up in organizations that are actually fighting against climate change. And you can become a part of global NGOs also, Greenpeace and all that. If you want to do something for society, if you want to do something for planet Earth, and you want to serve at the global level, you want to have a good career by serving the society at a global level, well, environmental law is an option for you. Then there is military law. If you like the uniform, if you want to get into the military, if you want to join the Indian Army, but you want to join Indian Army through law, well, there are doors open for that as well. Military law is there. Then business law. If you like the corporate lifestyle, if you like to serve in metro cities, if you want to serve in big MNCs, big multinational corporations all over the world, well, business law is there. Then there is cyber law. If you're interested in computers and you want to know the legal framework surrounding cyber security, well, cyber law is an option for you. International law is an option for you. Family law is an option for you. You can practice in courts and all. Intellectual property law is an option for you. Do you know there are various pharmaceutical companies, big pharmaceutical companies like Pfizer, Merck, Johnson & Johnson. All these companies hire lawyers. Those lawyers who are experts in this particular field. Because you see, these pharmaceutical companies are actually innovating with new drugs. They are creating new drugs and they seek intellectual property protection. They seek patents for their invention. And there are many other innovative companies that are seeking intellectual property protections. They are seeking patents for that. Now they need an in-house legal expert to guide them through that patent process, right? You can land up a job in a corporate MNC, in a pharmaceutical company, in a science and technology related company through intellectual property law. Then there is this financial and securities law. There are various mutual funds, there are various investment banks, there are various financial organizations that are seeking for good lawyers who are experts in this field. Right? Plus the doors of SEBI are also open for you, Securities and Exchange Board of India. The doors are open for you. Then property law, labor law, bankruptcy law, immigration law, company law, law of tort. Well, law of tort is all about, you must have seen that, especially in serials, especially in Netflix series, where they show you American series or British series. In that, people talk about suing someone or seeking compensation for certain damages. Well, law of tort is for that. Right? So as you can see over here, that career in law is not just about courtroom. Career in law doesn't only have two options. Career in law has variety of options, variety of fields. It opens up a hell lot of fields for you. All right? So please chuck this myth out of your mind that after studying law, you'll only land up in a courtroom. You'll only land up either a lawyer or a lawyer who practices, a litigator, or a judge. That's not the case. People completing their LLB or LLM, they land up in MNCs, they land up in multinational corporations, they land up all sorts of places. And plus, there is this another option of becoming a global leader or a local leader. Right? So career in law is multifaceted, it offers you a lot of options, and it is a viable career option. Let me assure you with that. All you have to do is put in a little hard work and be a little open-minded. That's it. Once you have achieved these two qualities, well, the world is there for you to conquer. All right? Now, most of you might be thinking about these two questions, that how to pursue a career in law. Yes, some of you might have gotten convinced that law is a viable career option for them. Some of you might not have been convinced. Well, it's okay. That's pretty okay. But there are some people who are convinced that they want to seek law as a career. Well, how should you proceed? Well, we'll talk about that in our next video. So stay tuned for our next video, because in our next video, we'll talk about various law courses available in India. Famous colleges and institutes for pursuing legal studies. There are very good colleges in India that offer you good legal courses, and through those courses, you can land up anywhere you want. and different entrance examinations for entry to these prestigious institutes. We'll talk about all these things in our next video. So stay tuned for that.